So I think we're gonna go ahead and repot this. I think this pot's a little too big for this Tycon itself. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of algae that's starting to build up on it from too much light. What I have in here originally right now is just leca and perlite. It's originally how I started it, but today we're gonna switch this over. I don't know, I'll get this open, dump everything out, see how much roots we got in there, and then we'll consider if we should keep it in the same pot or move it down to a smaller pot. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get all this old stuff out of here, clean off the roots, and get her potted up into a better pot. I'll get that out of the way here. We'll grab a little tray here. What we'll do is we'll bring this pot over and we'll start emptying. You can see all the algae in there. Algae, whatever you want to say. But we're going to clean this up. Like I said, with that, depends how much roots we got in here. We'll see if we'll keep it in the same pot or downsize it to a different one. I have this in here for probably about 3-4 months. But let's see how she goes. So like I said, in here it's all just leca and perlite. But we're gonna get into a new substrate. They look not too bad. Yeah. It's looking not too bad. But I think we can get into a smaller pot. We'll see. I'll break this up here. Actually, the roots. The roots seem pretty healthy. We're just gonna get all this out of here, give it a good rinse, get whatever root rot is in here out of there. Get her all cleaned up. Guys, if you guys ever have it in like a clear pot, or if you have your plants close to a lot of sunlight, especially with the perlite, it's gonna attract and collect algae. So, is algae bad for you? No, not really. More of a cosmetic eyesore, but you know, nobody wants to see that. Plus this has been in here for a while. I wanted to check on the roots anyways, so we'll go ahead and get this all cleaned out. Once I rinse the roots off, I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then we'll see where we'll go from there. The new substrate mix I'm gonna get this into is gonna be lava rock, leca, perlite, pumice, zeolite, everything that the original pond substrates have. I concocted this myself. I found all the substrates and ingredients that I needed. So that's what we have here, guys. These roots are pretty darn healthy. I was thinking of putting it in here, but you know what, that might be a little too root bound for this pot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it in that same pot with all new substrate. go, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go wash this off, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now we're back. As you can see, I got it all washed off. Pretty good. The roots are pretty healthy. Okay, we'll get this out of the way for now. Let's get this out of here. Move this junk. Get my other little plate here. And we'll get... After you clean the roots, make sure you spray with some hydrogen peroxide just to, you know, kill all the mold and bacteria and stuff on the roots and get it freshly going again. Get this out of here for now. And then we'll have our pot. I just cleaned out this pot here. So with the semi-hydro, you got the wicking system. I have the rope on the bottom, in the bottom here. Since this pot's a little bigger, I'm just gonna fill up the bottom with some large lava rock, just to fill up some space. That way I'm not using too much of the main substrate. So that can be our base. Move the wick up a little bit. Guys, if you guys are ever working with inorganic substrate like lava rock and stuff like that, make sure you guys rinse it really well, because they do get a little dusty. So that's good. More in there. A lot of aeration. So like that. It works as the base. Big chunks of lava rock, you know? Big chunks. So the substrate we have is the one I mustered up. So what you got here, you can see, crushed lava rock, leca, pumice, irregular lava rock, irregular leca, zeolite, perlite, super coarse and chunky. So when we use these, we're gonna have to rinse that off too. Alright guys, so this is what we're working with. So like I said, it's leca, irregular leca, lava rock, pumice, zeolite, chunky perlite, and super coarse perlite. If you have them in the see-through containers, they'll look like this. So let's go ahead and pot her up. I think I'm going to put a stake in there too. Let the roots kind of flare out and let it seat how it wants to. Get it nice and comfortable. I want to try to get this in the center here. I'm going to use this stake too. Let's preset this stake in there. Why not? There she is. Alright. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get the roots kind of spread it out. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and backfill this. Hopefully I have enough. Should have enough. There's one. Another pot. Looking good, guys. I end up zip tying this. Everything nice and straight. Tap everything in there. Seems about right. Give me 1 second, I'll go get a... You know what? I may not use this zip tie. Actually, I might use the Velcro. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Alright, so I got the Velcro here. What we're going to do is we're just going to get to the bottom. And this Velcro down there. I don't want Velcros if they're too long. Yeah. You know what? Like I always said, I'm gonna go with the trusty zip tie. Give me 1 second. So we'll get this lined up. Get the zip tie down here. Sometimes zip ties just make everything a lot easier. It's good to zip tie it. Nice, everything's good to go. Just make sure it's not too tight. You don't want to end up suffocating anything. You just want to keep it so it's nice and in its place, just like that. All right. What we'll do is we'll put the rest of this in there. Let me grab some scissors, cut that zip tie off. Now we make sure everything's nice and straight. Pat everything down. So now we have it in its new substrate. So like I said, this substrate is a little dusty at first, right? So you always want to rinse it. I did pre-rinse it already. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and rinse it again, just because it's in its new pot right now. So what I'm going to do is I want to take it to the sink, flush it out real good. Alright guys, so since we got everything all rinsed out, I flushed the plant and everything, the Tycon. This is going to be our reservoir. Since we're doing semi-hydro, we're going to need a reservoir, so this is what I chose. So what we'll do is we'll put the Tycon back in there. As we see, everything's good to go. Right, so what we're going to do now, let me bring this camera down a little bit so you can see right there. We're going to fill this reservoir up so it can get the water and wick it up from the bottom. Right. Alright, so I got my water here with the nutrients in it. If you guys want to know what kind of liquid fertilizer I use Thrive Plus. So we're just gonna soak it all the way around. Let the roots suck that in. The zeolite will absorb the nutrients. Again, guys, down here is where our water reservoir is gonna be. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. You guys can see it's gonna sit in there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the water's sitting there. And what happens is it's gonna wick up and it's gonna feed the plant, the roots, the nutrients it needs, and everything is good. Guys, Tycon, repotting and semi-hydro process with the substrates. Like I said, originally I had this in just perlite and leca. So originally I just had this in perlite and leca. Now that I got everything and I found all the substrates for it, so what I'm gonna say is I'm just gonna repeat it. It's leca, irregular leca, pumice, crushed lava rock, perlite, and zeolite. And for my base on the bottom, I have a bunch of large lava rocks just to fill up some space. That way I'm not using too much of this substrate because, you know, semi-hydro substrate gets a little expensive. So adding that lava rock on the bottom helps fill up some space and create more air gaps, which is perfect. I'm going to be repotting my Monstera elbow pretty soon, same process. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment, let me know. If you have any questions about substrates, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to follow me. I'll see you guys on the next one. Constellation Semi-Hydro Substrate. I'll see you guys later.